Alright, what I want to do is show you how to unfold this a little bit better. It's one of those rare things that I get to kind of share with the student, so I might as well take advantage of it. Two edge loop, two UVs. Go to the move tool, and what I'm going to do is deselect the bottom shell. The bottom shell I'm not really worried about because the bottom shell represents the inside of this band. So what I can do here is use this command to straighten this out. And then I'm going to grab this edge, two edge loop, 2UV, control, click and drag to deselect UVs. So control, click and drag. And here's the bottom edge. So now it's kind of representing a band better, except for this part right here in the center. Well, if I unfold these, it'll unfold the very centers and keep the outside edge true. Alright, so that's a nifty little trick. And if I really want to, just to show you that again, two UVs. This time I don't need to straighten out these. So I go 2UV, control, click drag. I can just straighten this out. This one's a little easier to do. Again, edge, two edge loop, two UVs, UV, then control, click and drag, and you get that. And now I can kind of straighten those out. So just one of these little tricks. You know, I like to show them all. Sometimes I run into more than I should and confuse the user, but this is be a lot easier to texture. You'll see that in the upcoming videos, rather than try to a curve. Curve is really hard to get a nice uniform texture in there. So what I'm going to do here is mesh combine these two objects together. And then go into Window UV Texture Editor again, and you can see that I have this. I'm going to take all the UVs, go to Polygons, Layout, Square Box. And you have a pre-scale and a post-scale and a uniformed scale. And what happens here is I don't want to really rotate these any. I'm going to hit none for that. I want them always to scale uniformly. That's just common, okay? In now the pre-scale, it says none. Well, I kind of want them to represent themselves, so I'm going to represent them as an object. Hit apply. What that'll do is Maya sees that these bands are actually smaller than the helmet themselves. So Maya will actually correct that issue because I don't need a whole lot of resolution in here. I need more resolution in the helmet. Okay. What I don't like is this. It gets really close. Okay. Now, in other programs, if you ever port this into another program, it doesn't really, it goes outside that a little bit sometimes. So what I do is I just kind of scooch this in just a little bit, leaving some margin for error. Another thing, these are kind of close. So what I'm going to do is take these UVs, go to shell, and move them up just a little bit. The bigger these are, the more texture resolution you get. So I'm just going to say I want just that a couple more pixels big, and then I have this now. Okay. Again, you want to make sure that everything makes sense to you in the UVs. So, you know, take some time, discover what part of what is the UVs. Take faces, highlight them. Okay, notice that this side now is my front. This is my front. Okay, these are my fronts. These UVs represent the strap. And these UVs in specific are the outside of the strap. Again, this is the outer shell and this is the inner shell. Okay? Just take a couple seconds to do that as a student. Don't just jump into the next video without kind of exploring that a little bit. So now we have all this done. Now let's go back into Photoshop with this and meet me in the next video. We'll start that process.